Hello and welcome to the End Step. That's Paul, that's Rich, that's Simon, and I am Maria, and it's an undisputed card of the weekend, I think pretty much Simon.
Maybe you have a guess? It's Goblin Chain Roller. I think it has been really obvious that this is the card of the weekend. We had about 35% of them in the metagame on Friday, and that only increased going into Saturday. And this top 8, if you weren't playing Chain Roller, you exited 0-3 in the quarterfinals.
I have a question. How do you beat it?
Well, just don't play 1 toughness creatures is my first guess at solving this metagame. And then I still really like the control decks. Just don't play any creatures at all. Let them sit there with their unlicensed disintegrations and find ways to beat Goblin Chain Roller.
All right, thanks, Simon. BDM is standing by with our team of the tournament.
Thanks, Maria. Our team of the tournament was Team Ultimate Guard. Owen Turnwald getting to his 5th top 8 in his career. John Finkel getting to a top 32 finish, and Reed Duke coming from 1-4 to get all the way up to the top 16 of this tournament. A heroic effort by him. Unfortunately, Owen Turnwald wasn't able to finish that job, get that trophy that he's been still waiting for. But you know, we've got a Team Pro Tour coming up at the next event, and Owen Turnwald will get to play alongside William Jensen and Reed Duke. Can't think of a more fitting way for him to get that first Pro Tour trophy and to carry Team Ultimate Guard through to the finals of the Pro Tour Team Series.
Thanks so much, BDM. And the Pro Tour Team Series is something we're looking forward to, Rich, too, in Minneapolis with the Pro Tour 25th anniversary.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic, and it feels to me like they are just about locked for one of those 2 seats in the World Championship. Things could go wrong because they play in 2 groups of 3 at our next Pro Tour. It's not 6 horses in the race, just 2. But it is a huge step towards the World Championship finals for Ultimate Guard.
All right, well, let's head to Tim and Riley for our match of the day.
Well, Tim, at the end of it all, the dust has settled, the trophy's been claimed, we've had laughs, we've had tears, there's been smiles and frowns, ups and downs, but for you, this top 8, I understand you had one match that really stood out as our match of the day.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of great matches, obviously quite a lot of red decks, so to me it came down to more of a personal story than just being the cards, and that was our semi-final between Gonzalo Pinto and Marcio Carvalho, 2 friends of over 15 years. They played each other in round 1 of the tournament. They got to play each other again in the semi-finals. They knew that one of them was going to make it to the finals. Before they even started, Marcio was like, obviously I don't want to lose, but if I have to lose to someone, I'm glad it's my best mate.
So there you go, nice bit of symmetry in our top 8, rounding things out with the Portuguese match of the day, the semi-finals of Pro Tour Dominaria.
Thanks so much, Riley and Tim. And I mean, a contender for that match of the day. That one was excellent, but also our final match of the day. You couldn't ask for much more drama than that.
Well, that was certainly turn of the day, wasn't it? I
Draw of the day, perhaps.
You know, if we had one of those 15, what was it? Vimeo used to be that 15 seconds of clip. You could do like the end of Gonzalo Pinto's like penultimate turn into the Glorybringer, because that was a thing.
And there was even a pause of suspense, right? Because it's not like Lightning Helix, it's like Glorybringer. Let me do the math.
Yeah, excuse me a moment, I'll be right back. Yeah, amazing.
All right, but who's our player of the day? I think you might be able to guess. BDM is with him.
Thanks, Maria. Far be it from me to argue with Simon Gertzen. Far be it from me. But Simon Gertzen said, undisputably, the card of the weekend was Goblin Chain Whirler. I firmly disagree. It is Glorybringer. It's that specific Glorybringer that came off the top of your deck. Walk us through those last couple of turns of the game and where your head was at and how you were able to keep yourself composed and get that win.
It was tough. I mean, I was falling really far behind. The Harvester was working me over. I thought it was going to gain too much life for me to be able to race. And I know the chat was saying it was a great 2-outer, the Abrade into the Glorybringer, but I mean, Hazoret came down the turn before that and let me get enough damage in to steal that game on the last turn. So, I mean, I couldn't have wrote it up better. I was so far behind. I thought I was just dead. But the cards didn't quite play out that way, I suppose.
I can tell you that unsigned Glorybringers are going to be, you know, maybe an investment in your future, because you are going to be signing a lot of Glorybringers in the immediate future. This is going to be a card that people are going to come up to you and they're going to ask you to put your John Hancock across that card. That's got to feel so amazing. Yeah. You know, it's funny, we had a conversation somewhere in the top 8 off on the side, and someone was saying like, oh, you know, I played the red deck and, you know, I would get to my 5th land and then I'd draw a 6th land, and I wish those lands would instead would be a Glorybringer. And you said, I don't know, it's worked out pretty well for me this tournament. I mean, Glorybringer's been saving your bacon all weekend long, right?
Yeah, Glorybringer's done a ton of work. I had a lot of games determined by hitting that 6 land was okay because I had some Kenras hanging out in the graveyard. I just felt like the deck might not have been perfect, but it played pretty incredibly for me all weekend. So couldn't be happier with how things turned out.
So Goblin Chain Whirler, obviously something that's on everybody's mind. You did play a deck that was still vulnerable in some ways to Chain Whirler. What advice do you have for people out there who might be thinking about picking up your deck versus some of the red-black decks that we've seen also in this top 8?
I think the big thing, get that treasure map out of the sideboard. All that card did is get me a warning when I failed to transform it properly in the Swiss. But beyond that, Fight with Fire, I expected more Lyras out of blue-white. They're more on a Gear Hulk plan now, so maybe something more like Cut to Ribbons could help a lot with the green-black matchup. Kind of control the snakes before they go out of control. That's how I got a lot of my losses in the Swiss, was to unanswered snake. So.
What's next for you now? Maybe not expecting to win a Pro Tour coming into this. Do you start to go to some more Grand Prix? What are you going to do about the World Championship? Who are you going to play with at the Team Pro Tour? All of these things you suddenly have to think about.
Yeah, I think I might not be an insurance agent for too much longer, or at least part-time. But yeah, the Worlds thing didn't even cross my mind. This is what I've always wanted to do. And I think I'll finally have the opportunity to really pursue it in the way I'd always wanted to. So I couldn't have put together a more perfect weekend.
Well, we've enjoyed watching it. Couldn't have put together a better first chapter in this professional career. Hopefully we get to do many more interviews like this throughout your career. Thank you so much, Wyatt Darby. You're a great champion.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Someone who's not just the winner, but someone who really appreciates the journey to get there. That's fantastic. Now, Paul, you've been here at the news desk, you've been in the booth, you've been down on the floor of the feature match. You truly have had 3 front row seats this weekend. So what will you take away from Pro Tour Dominaria?
Well, never give up, never surrender. Multiple times in this event, it just looked like one person was massively ahead. And then a few fortunate draws in a row completely turned it around. In this last game, I was joking with Luis while I was sitting next to him. I can't move the advantage bar far enough for Gonzalo. And he drew 3 perfect cards in a row to actually come back and win that game. It was incredible. So, when people sometimes go, just scoop. Sometimes you always have a chance. So just don't give up.
Okay, Maria, how about you?
Well, I'm going to take us back to draft and Sam Black's 5-color special with 3 Navigator compasses. That deck was just still so sweet to me, and it's just a testament to how awesome Dominaria draft is. I can't wait to go back and draft it tonight.
I was going to say, now, should we say don't try this at home, or should we say do try this
I'm
at
trying
home?
this at home.
Okay, fair enough.
I already did.
How did it go for you, Simon?
Mostly well.
Mostly well. All right, what about you then, Simon? Give us your takeaway from this Pro Tour.
I got to watch some tremendous Magic this weekend. It was a pleasure, for example, to see Owen Turtenwald play Constructed Magic, to see John Finkel play Limited Magic. My memory, however, is Elias Watzfeld and his run towards, his dominant run towards Limited Master. 6-0, 6-0, and only 4-1-1 this weekend. I have known Elias since years ago when I started on coverage, and there was this quiet, young Swedish guy just racking up wins at European GPs. And now he's here just dominating one of the toughest fields that we have assembled. And Limited Magic, I know it myself, is very, very hard if you want to get to that level. So that's my memory for the weekend.
And so, Pro Tour Dominaria comes to a close. We've seen Elias Watzfeld become Draft Master. We've seen Matt Severa become Constructed Master. We've seen Owen Turtenwald make his 5th Pro Tour. We've seen Marcio Carvalho in his 4th. 2 Portuguese players in the semi-finals together. We've seen Ultimate Guard take a vast step towards the World Championship. But in his first Pro Tour, Wyatt Darby went 3-4-1 and went home after day 1. He won 3 matches. In his second Pro Tour, he lost 3 matches, going 15-3-1 and ending the tournament as the champion of Pro Tour Dominaria. For everyone who works in front of and behind the camera here at Pro Tour Dominaria, I'm your host, Rich Hayden, saying bye.